Hi guys, and welcome back. So a lot of people get confused between nitrate and nitrite, and they're actually very different things in an aquarium. So as you watch me do some water changes, I'm going to try and explain how you can spot nitrate burns on your fish. So nitrate, as most of us are aware, it is dangerous. Even small amounts can stress or seriously harm our fish. It usually appears in newer tanks that haven't been fully cycled yet, or if something has upset the balance of the aquarium. Fish can sometimes show physical signs of nitrate poisoning, often called nitrate burns. It's worth noting you can have both nitrate and nitrite poisoning. If you have too much of both, you can both get nitrate and nitrite burns. Although the damage is usually happening internally, you can spot signs. Nitrate is dangerous because it affects the blood's ability to carry oxygen in your fish. People sometimes call it brown blood disease because nitrite changes the fish's blood chemistry, making it harder for them to breathe properly. And here are some visible signs which you can see: bright red and inflamed gills. Gills can actually look dark brown instead of a healthy red, and it's difficult because they can do dark brown and bright red, so we're just looking for a healthy pinky red. Fish gasping at the surface and breathing rapidly, pale colouring or washed out appearance, lethargic behaviour and hanging near filters or air stones, clamped fins, loss of appetite, red streaks in the fins. This is a good one for spotting, or red streaks in the body in severe cases. In extreme situations, the skin and fins can look irritated or damaged, which is why some hobbyists describe it as burns. The difficult thing is that these symptoms can also look similar to other problems like ammonia poisoning, low oxygen, or stress even. That's why water testing is important rather than diagnosing from appearance only. Plants can usually reduce nitrate over time, but they do not usually protect the fish from nitrite spikes quickly enough if the biological filter is unstable or you've been overfeeding too much. You can also mention fish often show behavioural signs before physical damage become obvious. Things like unusual breathing, like I said before, and staying near the surface when they're not particularly a surface fish, and there might be a bottom feeder staying near the surface. Acting withdrawn from when they usually swim in a shoal, that's generally a warning sign and it's worth checking. Nitrate is different. Nitrate is the end product of the nitrogen cycle. It's much less toxic, and in small amounts it's normally tolerated by fish. In planted aquariums, the plants can actually use the nitrate as food. Now this raises an interesting question. As you can see here, I'm doing a water change, but if your water level drops because of evaporation and you simply top up the tank with fresh water, is that basically the same as doing a water change? Well, not exactly. When water evaporates, only the pure water leaves the tank. Most of the waste, the minerals, the nitrates, and other dissolved substances stay behind. So when the tank is topped up, you're mainly replacing the lost water volume. Yes, you are diluting everything slightly, but you're not physically removing the waste from the aquarium. A proper water change is actually taking the old water out of the tank, including some of the nitrates and dissolved waste, and replacing them with clean water. But how much is too much? I often think a 50% water change is actually too much, especially if you've got a deep substrate which is acting as your filter alongside another filter, mechanical filter, a sponge filter, or even an outside canister filter. All these things are cleaning the water for you. So I sometimes think a 40 or 30% water change is adequate. I mean, in the videos here, I would say I'm only doing about 25% water change, because I look at the tank and I look at the plant growth, I look at the fish health, and I think, well, the water quality is good. Yes, I have got some algae growth on the glass, and I tend to clean it off from the front but leave it on the sides because the fish graze on it, particularly the hillstream loach and the whiptail catfish that are in this tank. So I tend to leave that for them. As with the other tanks, 2 cold water tanks that you can see me change in a minute, and our 180 litre tropical tank with the ram cichlids in. I think 50% is sometimes detrimental to your fish health. So no, topping up alone isn't considered a true water change. But when we've got a natural aquarium, a sort of heavily planted aquarium, here's where the balance comes in. Like I was saying before, in heavily planted aquariums, especially stable, mature setups, plants can consume surprising amounts of nitrate. Fast growing plants are basically natural filters. So if your fish are healthy, your plants are thriving, the water is clear, and your nitrate levels remain low, when you test, some aquariums can go much longer in between water changes, which is something I prefer. You know, I'd rather leave it longer and let it balance itself out than keep changing the water. Over time, minerals, hormones, organics, and other invisible wastes can still build up in that time, but your substrate can, and the plant growth can cope with that. But like I say, every aquarium is different, and it depends on what you've got in it, how big your fish are. I mean, like these 2 tanks, you can see them doing here, they've just got like white mountain, cloud mountain minnows, and zebra danios and golden fantail danios in it. So they're very small fish, so they don't pollute the tank as much as bigger waste producers like ourselves in Pleco, in our 180 litre tank. They're dirty fish, they are. And even if you have some large goldfish, they're real big polluters. You only got to look in the pond to see how much waste they produce, and the koi fish as well. So the key thing is observing your aquarium carefully instead of blindly following the rules, because I think every setup is different. Are your fish healthy and active? Is there good plant growth? Now, I think in this Biorb, we was given this tank, and I think they're a terrible tank for trying to do a natural setup. The plants don't seem to like to grow in it, and I've tried all sorts, and you'll see me in a minute try and plant another one, but it doesn't seem to take, and it has got a reasonable depth to the substrate as well, and I think it's just purely down to the shape. I think it might be just better a shrimp tank, this, and that's a possibility for the future. I'll move the Danios out and I get some cherry shrimp in here. So there you go. Let me know what your thoughts are. Ask me any questions, because I'm still learning as I go. I'm no expert, and this is just my understanding of things. And if you've got a better explanation or the difference between nitrate and nitrite, I didn't really go into that. I was more concerned of how to spot it without testing for it. But you're better off testing for it, finding that way, until spotting it in a sick fish. That seems to make more sense to me than doing it the other way, waiting for your fish to get sick. That's being a poor parent, if you like. So yeah, I do put a little bit of treatment in the water now, because my water butt outside is running low. So I'm waiting for the rainfall to top that back up, because it's surprising enough, I would thought the water quality in that would have been, because it's rainfall water, would have been too acidic, but it's actually a perfect pH balance that I like to keep my aquariums at. So it's really odd. Honestly, a lot of people I talk to about, I say, oh, use rainwater, collect it in rain tubs. And they say, oh, is that not too acidic? Now, some acidic water is good. Some fish do like that, but mine like sort of pH balance of 6.5 to sort of 7, and that it's an old whiskey oak barrel that absolutely perfectly maintains it at 6.5. So anyway, it's running low, so I had to use some tap water here, and I had to put I hate using chemicals, but I had to put a little bit of water. Forget what it's called now. Hold on, I'll go and tell you. The old memory's not the same. Water optimizer, it's called. Sorry about that, I totally forgot. Anyway, so I hope you like the video. Please share and like, and ask any questions you like in the comments, because I'm hopefully trying to build up a community on this channel, where we can also help each other with our interesting hobbies, fish keeping hobbies. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll let you watch the rest of the video in peace.